Good morning. Time to make the coffee. Today's flavor is raspberry mocha Teeccino. That and the snickerdoodle. Those two are my favorites. Coffee substitute. I pour the water into my little drip coffee maker and then I do the pour over from there. So it's gloomy again today. It's supposed to be a high of 61. Rain off and on, so I don't know. I'll get out there and maybe try and do a little something, even though everything is just kind of mud at this point. But as the week progresses, the weather is supposed to get a little better, which would be great, because it's kind of at a standstill right now. So, but you know, you do the little things that you can do. So, and you switch to plan B. Always have a plan B and a plan C, and if you need to, go through the whole alphabet. So, but don't just sit and become depressed. That's not good. So we got to keep moving, got to keep going. God intended us to be creators of our own too, not only about what He wants, but we need to be creators in our own world. God helps those who help themselves. So I don't know, sometimes when I pray, I'll ask for little pieces of guidance to get to where I want to go. I really don't expect to have, poof, there it is, whatever you wanted. So we have to work towards what we want. So that's what I do. I just ask for some guidance, whether that's in a piece of reading material or a video that I watch or other people telling me something that maybe they've done to solve their issue. But it does start to come together. It happens all the time. So if you have a problem that you need to work through, ask for divine guidance. And you'll see little tidbits of this and that will start materializing in your life. At least that's what I find to be true. So I always let this drip like maybe for 5 minutes just to get all the flavor out of it. And then what I've been doing lately is making another half of a cup of coffee with the same grounds. Now, the Teeccino is really tea, and it's a blend of different teas and different ingredients. Everything's clean. There aren't any, weird ingredients in there. So I really like it. So if you need a coffee substitute, I can highly recommend it. And I'm not affiliated with them at all. I have to buy it like everybody else. But a couple people have asked about it, and you can either buy it directly from their website. I get it from Amazon because I don't have to pay shipping. And I think on the website, that's the first time I ordered it, it was from the website. And I do think you have to pay shipping, but I don't know. Like I said, I order it from Amazon, and they have all kinds of flavors. And they even have like individual tea bags that you can order. But it's not really, it doesn't taste like a cup of tea. It tastes more like a cup of coffee. Anyway, I thought I'd talk a little bit about that. And yeah, I'm going to enjoy my coffee. I'm going to call it coffee from now on, so I don't have to go through the whole spiel of what Teeccino is. But I'm going to enjoy my coffee for a little bit and think about what it is I want to do today, because there's so many projects to choose from, both inside and outside, that I want a little bit of a plan to see what I feel like doing today. So, okay, well, I will be back in a little bit, and I'm waiting for still part of my $200 Walmart order to arrive. I have several things coming yet that were being shipped from elsewhere, not directly from Walmart. So, and most of it is garden stuff. So, okay, I'll be back in a little bit. Well, my little buddy's got the right idea. Just chilling and taking a nap, but I have things to do. So I have to clean up my messy kitchen. I have all these cooking things I have out, and no dishes in the sink, but I have all this random stuff everywhere. So I need to get this cleaned up because it's a mess. So it's really damp and cold outside, and it's just not pleasant for being out there. So I'm going to do a few things inside. And cleaning this up is one thing. My table's a mess too. Yep, I got all kinds of random things on my table. So I might as well be productive and clean up my kitchen. All right, I'll be back when it's done. It's afternoon. I spent a good part of the day just cleaning up the kitchen. I was in no hurry. I would do a little, figure out what I wanted to put where, then I'd go sit down, do something else, do something not physical, come back to it. So, but I managed to get it done. But I do still have this little pile of papers. Ugh. Do you guys have that problem too? I mean, you could shove it somewhere, but then it never gets looked at. So, and a lot of it is stuff that doesn't really have a category or a home, and you know you're not going to keep it forever, but you know you need it for a little while. So there it sits on your table. So annoying. But anyway, I'm having some chai tea, so cheers, my friends. Grab a cup of tea or coffee or whatever your beverage of choice is and join me for a little chat. So my Walmart order has been trickling in, and today I got 3 big bags, I think it's 2 cubic feet, of potting soil, and those are going in those big pots on my deck. So I imagine probably it'll take one whole bag. So it's going to take a while to fill up some of these containers, but I have some potting mix in the garage too. But I have to do the mulch before I can get to it. Otherwise I have to move the mulch and put it back, and it's just a pain. So I'm trying to get a system going so that I'm not constantly moving things back and forth. I'm trying to get a system going that move it once and done. So I got those, and then I got 2 of these, and they're Asiatic lilies, really pretty. I have some in the place where I want to plant these. That part of the garden, oh, it's all covered with weeds and everything. I have to weed back there. So I figured while I'm weeding, I might as well plant some more of the lilies. I have a few, and they look so pretty back there, so I want to put some more in there. Just different colors. And then yesterday, I think I showed you the ferns that I got. So that'll all be going into that area. And these are not bad to plant because they're small, and all you need are little holes. So it's not like I have to get the shovel like when I'm planting trees and shrubs and all that. But I'm almost done with all that, except again today it's been drizzling and raining all day, and it's just too wet to do anything out there. even in the pots, you know, the soil is too soggy and wet. So anyway, it tends to make you a little frustrated, but I came across this reading, and you guys know I like this little book, Life Lessons by Julia Cameron. I haven't read anything out of there in a while. So this one was very appropriate for how I'm feeling. And if some of you are in the same boat, where the weather is kind of hindering your progress, you might feel the same way. So it says, little one, surrender your sense of urgency. There is no emergency. Trust God. Good orderly direction. Accept the wisdom of your own unfolding. Receive God's timing as your own. Cultivate calm. Do not rush forward, pushing events to unfold with unnatural speed. The universe moves at the precise pace that serves your highest good. Trust divine order to be in your best interest. Relax your tempo. So I thought that was very appropriate because I try to stay calm and laid back most of the time. But, I mean, I think we all have our point where we just kind of, you know, tearing your hair out because you can't get anywhere. So sometimes what I do when I start to feel that way, I focus my thoughts on, gee, just think of all the things you've done already. And then it doesn't seem like I'm not making progress. It does help me realize that I am making progress. And it's not just with the garden, it's with anything. Any project, anything that you want to do, you have to sort of, you know, pace yourself. Sometimes there's days where you don't feel good, or you might have somewhere that you have to go and you'd rather be working on your project. There's all kinds of reasons why you can't get to what it is you really want to get done. And I think a lot of it isn't even you want to do it. I think you just want to get it done and over with a lot of times. So I'm trying to very hard figure out how it can be the most pleasurable, because some of the things that I have to do require a lot of work. But, you know, I always thank God that I can do it. You know, I say thank you for helping me get this done and for enabling me to have the strength to get this done. And then it changes my perspective. So, yeah, I mean, cleaning the kitchen today was actually pleasant. And I'm not one that loves to clean. But because I paced myself and just sort of thought about things and where am I going to do this and what am I going to do with that, and it sort of, it was not an unpleasant task. I mean, my kitchen wasn't horrible, but it was a mess. And it was making me feel uncomfortable because I spend a lot of time in my kitchen when I'm in the house, especially when the weather's bad. So it wasn't feeling peaceful. It was feeling chaotic and messy. So I had to get that done. And I have a couple of rooms like that. One of them is my bedroom. And that's because when we were moving things around from the basement and to the basement, and a lot of things just, you know, my grandsons were moving the stuff, and they didn't know where to put it. And I didn't know where to put it because I need to sort through those things. Because at one time they did have a home in one of the other bedrooms. But things needed to change. So now these things don't have a home, so a lot of it I'll probably donate. So, and then if down the road, if my grandson that lives here ever moves out, you know, I don't need to keep all this stuff and put it all back where it was. It's okay to have a room that doesn't have a whole lot in it. In fact, it's kind of nice. because as I get older, and if I ever do end up just living in the house by myself, I mean, I'm planning on closing off some of those rooms anyway, and that way I'll have a whole lot less to do, because I really don't want to move. I kind of have this house set up that, and I've talked about this before, but for those newer people, I have my house set up so that if I had to, I could live on my first floor. There's enough room, and I have a day bed in the living room that, you know, kind of set it up like a sofa. So I don't even really need to go upstairs to, you know, do much of anything. And if need be, I could put a shower in my laundry room if I wanted to, if I didn't want to go upstairs anymore. But for now, there's no reason why I can't go up into my bedroom. So the only thing I would be missing here on the first floor would be a closet, but I do have a space for that too. So everything's good. But anyway, I figured this was going to be my forever home. I moved quite a bit in my life. I think I counted once. I've moved, including with my folks, I've moved 11 times. Not so much in the last 30, 40 years. I haven't moved that often, but you know, when I was younger, we moved different places, and then when I was young and just married, we moved in different places. So yeah, I think I counted 11 times, and I don't like to move. So that's a lot of work. So anyway, yeah, that's my day. And I showed you my mess in the kitchen before, so I'll show you what the kitchen looks now, and then I'll come back and wrap things up. Right, well, I feel better. I got the kitchen all cleaned up, except for this little pile here. I still have to look through that, but everything else is neat and tidy. And over here too, dishes are all done, everything's put away. So I like the open shelving. And I cleaned my stove. I always make sure that my stove top is clean. This oven, well, this stove is 23 years old. I bought this new when I first bought the house. And it was kind of on the expensive side, but I've loved it. And I like the light cooktop because it matches the counters, even though I have all wooden things there now. Eventually I'd like to get either a butcher block or acacia wood counter, but right now that's too much work, so I just ended up getting a bunch of cutting boards and lining everything up with the cutting boards, and it works fine, and it's a whole lot cheaper. So the dishes are done, and all this is cleaned up too. So yay! This jar is so pretty. I got that at Dollar Tree for $3. It doesn't show it's got like a rainbow shimmer to it, but it doesn't show up on the camera. So anyway, I'm happy at least I got something done today. Alright, well, tonight's dinner is a bunch of random things that I'm pulling out of the refrigerator. So I have a piece of pizza here from a few days ago. That needs to be eaten today. I had some frozen not meat pepperoni, so I'm going to put some of that on there, and I'm going to add some more of this cheese. I want to use this up. I have an egg, a little bit of lentil soup left. I have some olives that I need to finish up, part of a tomato, the spring mix. So I'm going to have soup and salad, and instead of bread, I'm going to have the slice of pizza to go with it. So that's what I'm pulling together for dinner tonight. Just trying to use up what I have so I have money for other things. All right, I'm going to put this together and I'll be back. Here's tonight's dinner. Finishing up a bunch of little leftovers and making room in the fridge and saving money. All right, I'm looking forward to eating this. All right, well, dinner was good, considering it was just bits and pieces of whatever's available. It's food. And when I do that, I try to combine things that kind of make sense, that would go together. So that's how I do it. But, you know, even if you eat a mishmash of things, it doesn't matter. It's all food. So anyway, that's all I have for you today, my friends. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. It helps my channel grow. Don't forget to share, and thanks for watching.